Welcome everyone to Head to Head, where we discuss some football and argue about our shitty opinions. My name is JT, and this is Beach, and a lot has happened in the football world this past week.
Oh yeah, fucking crazy draft. Got Lamar getting his extension. Got Rodgers finally going to New York. Tons of crazy trades, storylines. I think we just need to get right into it. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll get into each and every one of those. You want to start with Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, I will pull up the article. Take it away.
So Lamar signs the biggest contract, well, by average annual value, highest paid player in NFL history now. Top Jalen Hurts contract, I think by 5 million total. He has 185 million guaranteed. Yeah,
Yeah, that's absurd. 52 million per year.
52 million per year. Yep,
I think. So what is?
5 year deal.
Because Hertz makes 50 million a year, right?
I think it's 51.
50. It's something really close. Like Lamar barely
Let
edged
me
him out.
pull up Hurts deal. Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. It's just gonna be a ladder now.
It's gonna probably be the same for Herbert and Burrow in a couple of years, or
Yep,
not even
Herbert will
that.
get more. Well, yeah, Burrow will
Like,
get more definitely.
I mean, this is gonna be their fourth year, I think. So they'll probably with a year or two until that happens.
Yeah, then his both of their 5th year options just got picked up.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Um, yeah, so $260 million over the course of 5 years at 52 million a year. It's 185 million guaranteed, like you said, and annual pay that makes him the most paid overall. Patrick Mahomes, I think, makes more, right?
Yeah,
Because he makes 450 million over 10 years, I think it is,
yeah.
lasting into 2030 or something. Back to Lamar. We're not talking about Mahomes. Uh,
Ravens got their QB locked down.
yeah, I'm happy for him, honestly. Uh,
Yeah, they needed to get it done.
I
Tired
just
of them dancing around it.
They just need to make sure he stays healthy. That's the biggest thing. They have.
Yep.
I genuinely think the Baltimore Ravens are a Super Bowl contender every year, whenever Lamar Jackson is on the field. Like
And
seriously,
they need to keep building around him.
they need to give him
So he
weapons, and
can
they need to
keep playing
protect
at a
him
high level, which they did kind of address in this draft. We'll get into
a
it
little
here
bit.
in a little bit.
Um, it's funny. Like I don't I cannot imagine a Ravens team without Lamar Jackson
Well,
right now.
like what would they have done, if they traded him or, he sat
Yeah,
out
I
or
know who
whatever.
would have been
Like,
their guy. I mean, do they draft a quarterback in the draft? Do,
or
do,
you
you,
got to tank next year.
do you think maybe they had a contingency for that going into this week?
Uh, Honestly, I thought if I don't think it would have happened. Oh, my light's flickering.
I mean, they do have. Oh, nice.
Okay. Well, anyways, I thought if that was like ever gonna happen, which I thought this was gonna get done eventually, but if it was gonna happen, I figured they would just roll with Huntley or someone
Hey,
for next season and then
Huntley's
try
a,
and
Huntley's a
draft
Pro
someone
Bowler,
next
bro.
year.
On a technicality.
Yeah, but I knew this was gonna get done eventually. But the trade speculation was fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because I think the biggest one of the biggest ones was Lamar going to the Colts, I think, and then the
Yep.
Ravens taking. No, it was Lamar to the Colts for the fourth round or fourth pick. I should not fourth round pick for the fourth overall pick to pick up Anthony Richardson. Obviously, like the complete
Yep.
opposite happened, but again, we'll get to that. Um, yeah, I'm excited for the Ravens. Absolutely. I
I think they're contenders in the AFC.
like I said, they should be Super Bowl contenders as long as Lamar Jackson is on that field. They are a fantastic team whenever he is on the field. There have been times where I've thought like, I don't know about Lamar Jackson. He's a running back. He's just gonna run or something. But like we've seen over the course of his career that like he has actually improved every single year in his game.
Yep.
especially in the passing game. I think he's become more of an actual passer and not just look to scramble every other play. Um, he's becoming a much more just capable quarterback and not just running the ball left and right.
Yeah, and his offense didn't really help him that much past couple seasons, or they didn't really.
I mean, even yeah, the
How
offense.
should I say it?
He
They
doesn't.
didn't bring out his strength as a passer as much as they should have.
On top of that, he just hasn't had any real weapons for a while.
Yeah,
He
I
has been
mean,
pulling all the
Mark
weight.
Andrews, that's it pretty much.
Mark Andrews, yeah, that's pretty much it. His
And
receivers are all
Rashad
just
Bateman and
fine
Devin
at
Duvernay can't
best.
stay healthy.
And even then, they're like just fine at best. They're not like S tier or even A tier
Yeah,
receivers. They're like B tier at best, you know. Now on that note, they did pick up a couple new weapons for Lamar. Uh, they got Zay Flowers in the draft in the first round. We'll talk about him later. I think what we should talk
and they
about
signed Odell.
here is Odell. They signed Odell Beckham
Yep.
Jr. What do you think of that?
Well, like I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think they signed him to be their number one guy, but he's gonna be a
Yeah,
reliable receiver for him. Can be their number two guy. Take some tension away from whoever is gonna be the top guy, whether that be Mark Andrews or Zay Flowers, who's
I think
coming in now,
I
or
think he'll have the same effect that he had
Bateman.
on the Rams when he played with them in that Super Bowl year. Because they had Cooper
That's
Cup,
what
wide
I
receiver
think too.
one,
Yeah,
but whenever the ball went to Beckham, he made plays, and it was good. It was good for him, and got him a
yeah, he
ring.
did his job.
He did his job. He pulled his weight when he needed to. I think he will do the same here in Baltimore, and I hope he does.
Yep,
He's one of those players who he's been around for a long time now. He's a veteran, and it's nice to see him actually like playing and being in these situations where he can succeed. Um, Obviously, as a Cowboys fan, he has never been my actual like favorite player or anything. I would even rank or put him among my least liked players in some aspects. Uh, Freaking one-handed pass interference
back from the
touchdown.
Giants game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then like fast forward to like when he was with the Browns, all that shit going down, um, and then going to the Rams. Like I can't help but kind of root for the guy.
yeah, especially now coming off that injury in the Super Bowl that we just sucked to see. Because he would have been MVP of that game, I bet, if he didn't get injured.
You think so?
But I don't know.
I
It
mean,
was trending that way.
he could
He
have
did get that touchdown right
he
there
might
and
have stood a
still
chance
two
considering the
plays.
MVP was Cup and not even Stafford.
But now he's going into a year where he's trying to get paid again. They gave him that what,
They
like
gave him
1 year
like
contract.
$18 million, I think.
Yeah,
They gave
it's
him a lot
like
of
up
money.
to 18. It depends on incentives, I
I think
think.
incentives,
But
yeah. They give him a lot of money.
yeah, he's definitely looking to get a longer term deal either there or somewhere. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
How do you think this will affect the AFC North as a division? Because that whole
Well, with
division,
Lamar staying there, that keeps it, more as competitive as it was.
is is like
And yeah,
one of the
now
most
all
competitive
the teams
divisions.
there are loading up. I like the drafts of the Browns. I like the drafts from the Steelers. The Ravens, I'm still skeptical about their defense. Like they didn't really, they could have attacked secondary
Their
in the
defense let
first
up
round instead of receiver.
Their defense let
Honestly,
up quite a bit when it really mattered last season,
yeah,
especially early in the season where they'd have huge leads and they would decide to blow them. The one that comes to mind is Miami Dolphins. Tua
yeah,
Tagovailoa popping the fuck off. What 6 touchdown game, whatever that was. That was crazy. It was amazing. But they had a huge lead and they blew it. The Jaguars later in the season,
yep,
that was huge, and the Jaguars even went for the 2 pointer. You could
yep.
have easily held that, and you still let up.
That was one of my favorite plays of the season.
Yeah, that was yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but I think they have big question marks at cornerback still. Um, really not going to know until the
do
season
they
starts, though. I think
do
they're
they
still a
still?
contender for sure in the AFC at least. I don't.
I think right now they are. I don't know if they're still a wild card contender. Actually, they could easily be a divisional contender with Lamar there. Because
I
at
still
first,
think.
because like I said last week, I think the Bengals should still win the division. I think the Bengals just have more pieces. They have more weapons, especially for Burrow. He's got like arguably the best receiving core in the league, and Lamar will have, I guess, Bateman and Duvernay, which again, kind of
Yeah, they'll
fine.
be healthy again,
Zay
hopefully.
Flowers, who knows how he's gonna be? Probably fine. I can't. I don't see him being a superstar, but I mean, we'll see what happens. And
Well,
then OBJ,
yeah,
he's
we'll see.
fine. It's still not the best receiver room. It's just a solid receiver room, and that's all it really comes down to.
It's like that whole division, each team has question marks, I think, because, like,
Yeah, I mean,
Browns, they could be easily
I think the
contenders in
Browns.
that division if Deshaun takes that next step
I think the
to,
Browns have. I think they have the most
his
question
old self.
marks in that division.
I liked what they did in this draft, but then you got the Steelers. They still have questions on defense, which I think they addressed some of it. Especially stealing Joey Porter
Oh
Jr.
yeah, we'll get to that.
first pick in the second round. But and the Bengals, their defense and their offensive line. But I think they did an okay job addressing defense, especially with Miles Murphy in the first round.
Yeah, I think that's enough talk about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in the AFC North for now. I think we
Get to the AFC East.
AFC East. Big fucking news. This literally like changes the course of NFL history. It's something that everyone was expecting for a while, honestly, for the past couple years at this point. Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets. It is official. He's there. It's actually happening.
Yep, had his press conference the other day. Man, it's so weird
Yeah, it's like I
because
grew up
yeah,
with
we grew up
Rodgers
watching
on the
this guy.
Packers, and he's still
You know,
kicking, and now he's on
I've
another
always
team.
hated the Packers, but I've always loved
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers. I'll always be a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I
I've
do hope he succeeds there.
I will
And I think
always hate the Packers, but Aaron Rodgers, I didn't like him up until the past couple seasons when he kind of just started like popping off. Not just as a
I
player, but he's just his character is just something else. It's hilarious.
yeah, I I think this definitely puts Jets into contention with that defense, and now they already have that potent offense. They just needed a quarterback.
They have
It's
a.
the
I
final
think that
piece,
was it. Like they should be able to at least win a playoff game.
especially they got Garrett Wilson, they got Brees Hall should be
They have
healed up by the
so
start of the season.
many weapons
And then
on
yeah, they
both sides
brought
of the
in
ball.
Nicole Hardman, they brought in Alan Lazard.
Lazard, you mentioned Garrett Wilson,
The
and they already
the
still
biggest
had
question
other
mark on
solid
that team is
receivers.
the offensive line, I think,
Yeah. Uh,
which they got jumped for Broderick Jones by the Steelers.
well, they had the opportunity also to grab like other players, and they went for McDonald,
McDonald.
but whatever. We'll get to that.
Uh,
But let's focus more on Aaron Rodgers. I think really quick. So like what? Let's see what a trade actually entails first. So the Jets get Rodgers, and I think they swapped their first round picks, right?
yep.
Yeah, and then the 2023 fifth round pick. And the Packers again the swap. They get second round pick this year, and then who did that end up being?
They took the tight end.
Well, he finds that they also got the sixth round pick, additional second round next year, and
Luke Musgrave.
Luke Musgrave, right?
Uh,
Oh, becomes a first if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays, which he absolutely most
That's
likely will. So
yeah.
I don't know why he wouldn't unless he gets like
Unless he
injured.
gets injured, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that's
the
a steal,
Packers
honestly.
definitely got more compensation than I expected, but not gonna really know who wins the trade until you see how the picks turn out for the Packers, and then
If the
how long
Jets,
will Aaron Rodgers play with the Jets? And this is Super Bowl or bust for the Jets. Like
yeah, no,
they have, if they're doing this, they have to go win
this
the
is a
Super Bowl.
this is a Tampa Bay Buccaneers situation kind of thing for Tom
Rams,
Brady. Rams with Stafford, kind of to a lesser extent. This is more so to me, Brady to the Bucks. You have probably a couple of years to win the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers before he likely retires because he's getting to that point. I think. Um, Not necessarily like he's still playing amazing football. He's still possibly the best player on the field.
it was even a down year for him, and he still threw 40 touchdowns last season.
Yeah, and
Now his interceptions were a little higher, but I think a lot of that was just due to not really having
had no
any chemistry
receivers
with
either
those inexperienced receivers. Yeah,
versus having Devontae Adams. Yeah, for sure. Uh, oh wow, I forgot what I was gonna say.
yeah. I think the
Oh yeah,
biggest question there for sure is offensive line. Are they going to be able to keep him protected?
I think they got a bit of time to kind of work around that. Um, I don't think Rodgers wouldn't retire. I don't think as quickly as Brady. Brady was much older when he went to the Buccaneers. Rodgers is still less than 40.
Like it's been this thing every year though between Rodgers and the Packers. Is he going to retire? Is he not?
He will
He doesn't even know.
he will turn
He waits so
40
long
this
to
year.
decide. I can see him playing 2 seasons,
I
maybe
think
three
at least
at
two
most.
seasons. Yeah. I have to agree with that. I It would be cool to see the Jets win it with Rodgers and Rodgers get his second ring. Do you think it'll actually happen though?
Man, I really want to see it happen, but
I want to see it happen, but I don't
well,
think it will. The AFC is too competitive and there
I
are better
really
teams
can't
still.
say right now, honestly.
We'll have to see how he actually
Yeah,
he's
I
never
got
played. Rodgers has never played the AFC.
yeah,
So that's huge. He's going from one conference to the other. Brady did the same
but
thing and ended up
he
owning it.
chose to go here. I think he's motivated and
You
determined.
think he's confident that he will do well in the AFC,
Yeah,
which has the objectively better quarterbacks in the entire NFL
yeah. Like if he could have gone to San Fran if
or just
he
teams in general.
wanted to play in an easy conference.
He could have
He's
gone,
clearly up for the challenge.
dude. I'm telling you, if Jalen Hurts wasn't as good as he was, and the Eagles didn't pop the fuck off last season, he would have gone to the Cowboys, and we would have our second ring in a year from now, or our second ring.
Oh,
Uh,
whatever. I would
or
have never
six,
signed with
six.
Dallas.
I can't blame him. But yeah, no, that's huge. Of course, they announced this literally like 12 hours after we have our episode 1 recording session,
Yeah,
which was
if we
already
would have
delayed.
waited one more day, we
Yeah.
would have been able to announce that. Or if they would have just announced it that night, could have even reacted live.
Was the OBJ stuff before or after this?
I don't remember.
Because we didn't talk about it last week.
Wasn't really massive news though.
No, it's only bigger news because it's OBJ and he's like one of the most actual pretty good receivers on the
Yeah.
market. But I digress. Yeah, yeah. So Aaron Rodgers, the Jets. I don't think there's anything more we can really say about that. This is huge for them. It's kind of a
I'm
Super Bowl
excited to
bust.
see him play either way.
The Jets were on the cusp of something last season. They were winning games, and Zach Wilson all flushed it all down the drain. But
Yep.
yeah, I can't believe that
Let's
happened.
get into this draft.
Yeah, I agree. Well, what are your initial thoughts on the draft, other than how he is a god?
Well, yes, Howie is absolutely insane. Give him executive of the year again, back to back already. and the Eagles the Lombardi. But other than that, pretty crazy draft. A lot of unexpected trades and picks. Well, maybe not super unexpected, but like
I,
you have the Texans taking trading up to third overall,
which
which
was actually predicted by Traeger, wasn't it?
Peter Schrager, yeah,
I don't. He knew.
yeah, he
Like
knew
he straight
something.
up knew that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I will say this was the first draft I actually watched live. I only watched the entire first. I watched the entire first round live with my buddy, and I had like the second and third round on the side while I was like playing games or something. I'll kind of glance
yeah.
over and like read DMs here and there. I didn't watch for the rest of it 4 through 7 today. I don't know really who got picked today, uh, but that's okay because we're not talking about that right now. We're talking right now
Focusing on the
round one.
round
Not
one, maybe two and three,
well, maybe a couple
some
standouts, but
different,
mainly
yeah,
round one.
standouts. But yeah, like the Texans trading up to third. I don't know.
I I will say that move it
And they
is
traded
crazy.
their first next year for it, not the Browns first, which I think would have been way better. They did that
They traded
because,
they traded their first next year.
yeah, not the Browns pick, which I think the Browns are going to have a lower
I
pick than the.
I don't think it'll end up being that different. The Texans will probably have a lower pick, but I
I mean,
don't.
like, realistically, how many games are they winning in that division alone? And secondly, in that conference?
I think the division is still pretty
I,
open, other than the Jags. Maybe
I
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Texans aren't.
That whole
I don't.
team is like
Texans aren't winning next year. Like they'll win 5 games maybe.
that whole
That's what
division is
I
like
think. They're still
totally.
rebuilding.
The whole division over the last couple days is like on like Wednesday, you had like Wednesday compared to Thursday, like two completely different divisions.
Like
Because
unless Anderson is a franchise changing player, that's gonna set their rebuild back even more.
I mean, he could end up being their new JJ Watt.
He isn't.
No one's JJ Watt, but he could end up becoming second to JJ Watt in terms of just the legacy and the impact he leaves on that team and that franchise.
I don't know because I mean they. I don't think they're gonna win next year, and I think there's better. Like this whole draft was kind of weak. Like Will Anderson, he's a good player, but I
It's
don't know. I think it's just
not the strongest
it's a
draft
really
overall, but
aggressive gamble when you're rebuilding,
yeah,
and then like you get into like the Falcons, also in the top 10, taking a running back. Like
that made
Tyler
me pretty
Algier
mad.
was he was pretty good for them last season,
When I
and
was
they already
watching
have Cordero Patterson too.
when I was watching with my friend, our immediate reaction to Bijan was, "What the fuck?" We wanted him to go to the
Well, like I,
Cowboys, even though it probably wasn't going to happen. I would like to see him. I would have liked to see him in LA. That's what I predicted would happen. When I saw the Falcons take Bijan, I was like, "Don't they have an okay running game already?" Like, I don't see them as like that much of a running team. I don't know.
well, like it's Arthur Smith, so yeah, they've already been they ran the most out of any team last year, I think.
I guess
But
so.
like he's gonna be he's gonna be productive in their offense. But is
Oh,
that
he'll pop
really
off, but
their biggest need? Like they need edge rushers. They haven't taken a good edge rusher in so long.
the Falcons are just such a
Need to beef it.
weird team to be right now. Like,
And like the issue is too. I think like Desmond Ritter. I think he's actually gonna be okay. And
you
that
think so?
means that they're just going to be put into this cycle where they'll not going to have another high pick. They're just going to have a mid pick. They're not going to be able to finish their rebuild. I don't know.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, let's go through the top 10 players. I think for right now. Number one pick. We haven't even mentioned the number one pick. We're off talking about other teams right
Yeah.
now. Probably because number one pick came as a surprise to absolutely no one. Like I think everyone was watching the NFL the draft that night when the Panthers announced their pick. I think when it was announced, everyone was just like, "Yep, like
Yeah,
there it is."
we all knew by that point that Bryce was by far the top quarterback.
It would have obviously been a way bigger surprise if they picked someone else.
And yeah, pretty much all media and all sources were pointing that way. It was between him and Stroud, and yeah, he's got the highest upside. Well, not you don't have the highest, maybe not highest upside out of all the quarterbacks, but he's the best quarterback available like right now.
I think overall
So
he is the best quarterback. Yeah,
yeah,
solid pick for the Panthers. I'm excited for him next season. I've I, I've seen a lot of people talking about how Bryce Young might not have a whole lot of weapons actually on offense. They just gave up DJ Moore for to get him,
well, like
but they did
I
pick
mean,
up
Adam Thielen isn't
pick up
really a
Thielen.
weapon, but he'll be a good veteran to help, mentor the younger guys, and he will be good
He'll be a good
for
slot,
Bryce too.
but
But then
it
they
took
took a wide receiver in the second round too, Jonathan Mingo.
yes,
I
yes,
like that pick.
yeah,
And then they signed DJ Chark, he was all right for the Lions last season when he was healthy. But
yeah.
yeah, they'll definitely need to get him some more receiving help. They did bring in Miles Sanders at running back too.
I think their run game is gonna be really good.
But this is definitely going to be a defensive team right now. Like their defense is stacked.
They're not quite playoff caliber. They could maybe sneak into wild card. I don't quite see
Yeah,
it happening. I think they're going to be like a fringe team for right now until they
I think they're
get
a
those
year away
weapons, those
from really
pieces.
competing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Uh,
Plus,
oh,
Bryce Young's going to need some time to grow into the NFL
kind
and
of get adjusted, adapted to all of
learn
it,
the offense. Yeah.
get comfortable. Yeah, for sure. But I'm excited for them. I think this is huge for them. Obviously, Panthers have been in a bit of a weird limbo since the Cam
Yeah,
Newton
yeah.
era, but this whole time I've like been on the edge of like needing to sneeze, and I'm trying not to. Let's move on. So we talked about the Texans already. What do you think of C.J. Stroud? We talked about Will Anderson, but not Stroud.
Well, like there are people saying they might pass on a QB, and they had to take one. And yeah, Stroud. I mean, they could
Mills
have
doesn't cut it.
gone. I don't see an issue if they maybe took someone like Richardson or Levis either to develop, but Stroud's a good player, and I think he'll be fine for the Texans.
I'm not really a Texans fan, but I do live here, and I think personally I might have preferred Will Levis, but I just like Levis more. I don't know why. I think Stroud should be good, but I'm gonna kind of hold my breath. Should be good. He should be good. I don't
Yeah,
quite see him being like quite superstar level though.
I
But
don't really
I think
think
it's gonna
any
be
of
the
the
same as
QBs in
Bryce
this
Young.
draft could be superstar level.
I don't think any of them will be. Not right off the bat. I think they all
Yeah,
have the
it's
potential to
really
be.
it's just a mid QB draft, so we're like kind of rating these guys,
Yeah,
but we still have to
like we said,
make it.
it's not the strongest draft all around.
Yeah, yeah, I like the pick. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with picking Stroud here. We talked about Will Anderson, huge trade. I was like screaming at the TV, like just wow. But overall, I'm excited for the Texans. They still have another season or two before they can really, really be taken seriously, though. I think.
Uh,
Uh, Colts. A lot of people thought this would happen. I was still so surprised, though.
I I'm 50-50 because
Like
he
Anthony
could have.
Richardson, AR-15.
He's gonna need time to develop
Mm-hmm.
and
Clearly,
learn, the NFL offense,
clearly
improve his
he's gonna be
technique.
he'll be their number one quarterback. But do they start him day one?
I I
Like
don't think they will.
But like with a pick that high, like you'd think they would.
Mm.
But at the same time, yes, he does need to get warmed up to everything.
Yeah,
They'll
I don't
probably
think
use
there's.
Minshew to get him situated, you know. Same
Yeah,
with
I don't.
Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky in the Steelers last season.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way he starts week 1. Yeah, I think it's gonna be probably a situation like that. Though he could be ending up he doesn't start at all in the season
I think for sure by
unless
the
Minshew gets
2020
injured.
for sure by the 2024 season he will absolutely be their guy. He's locked and ready to go. But do you
Yeah,
think he'll actually start a game this season? I think he'll start some games this season probably. Might depend on how Minshew's doing.
maybe. I don't know.
He'll play one way or another, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, he will probably have some sort of playing time, but like, because like if he doesn't end up working out, then this sets them back another how many years?
Yeah,
Well, like maybe not because if he does suck, they'll just end up being bad. So
it'll just be typical
they'll
Colts
get
again.
another high pick. Yeah,
They'll just rinse and repeat till they land it. Yeah,
yeah, it's a big gamble.
big gamble. We'll see how it goes. Only time can tell. Uh, number 5 was very shocking.
I was for sure they were gonna either trade that pick to someone who wanted Carter or take Carter themselves.
Yeah, and they ended up going with Devin Witherspoon, who wasn't even like the highest like
Well, he's
on the
like,
board in terms of cornerbacks.
well, it depends on what board you looked at too. Like, he's
True.
probably the best in terms of talent and like,
Generally, it was between him and Gonzalez, who,
yeah,
by the
him
way,
and
fell so
Gonzalez.
much.
And they have kind of a different skill set. Like Gonzalez is more of a coverage guy. Witherspoon's kind of that tall, physical man guy.
Yeah,
I like the pick. I think it's great.
I don't
He'll
think
be
there's
a
anything
good
wrong with it.
pairing with He'll be a good pairing with Tariq Woolen.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that pick at all. I think it's a good pick. Seattle had a really good draft this year, at least in the first round, I'd say. What do you think of the Cardinals at number 6?
Trading with the Lions.
So first they
I don't.
traded with what was it? What do you think? How did the trade go? It was like this. It was like a two.
They traded with the Texans.
Traded the
And then
Texans. They traded with the Lions. That's what it was.
Then they traded back up with the Lions. Yeah.
Yeah. Paris
I don't
Johnson
think
Jr.
the Lions think if they did trade down here, they shouldn't have picked who they did pick, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, that's.
But in terms of the Cardinals pick, I like it. I think
they need help there.
especially, and Kyler wanted him, so clearly, he likes him, and he's probably the best offensive tackle in the draft. You could argue maybe Skoronski, but I think he has a higher ceiling than Skoronski, and yeah, they need to protect Kyler. No brainer.
So you think that was a dub for the Cardinals?
Yeah.
So last week they sucked because of the uniforms. This week, good.
That's
good.
a win for them.
All right.
Yep, I'll take that.
All right, nice. Number 7, we predicted this right. I'm just saying.
Yep, Tyree Wilson.
The Raiders.
It's a okay pick, I guess.
I don't see it backfiring or anything. I should pair well with Max Crosby.
Yeah, he'll be a good player for them. It's just,
Yeah.
they could have had Will Levis or
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez instead, I think. Might have been better, but yeah, Tyree Wilson is
I
a
don't
good player.
I don't think they needed to take a quarterback just because they do have Jimmy G, who is a good quarterback for the most part, for a couple of years at least.
When he's healthy.
I think if they're gonna look at quarterback, it's gonna be at least starting next season, like next draft.
I think next year they'll have to definitely look for
definitely look at the future. At that point, right now, I think Jimmy G is kind of just a bridge guy.
Yeah, build up that defense.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I like it. So yeah, number 8, we talked about this bunch already. Bijan Robinson to the Falcons.
Well, maybe not a reach, but maybe not the right team to take.
It's like gonna be a great pick for anyone. Let's be real.
Yeah,
because he's totally goated. But why the Falcons?
Yeah.
Like, he'll do really well there. He should anyway. But why them?
I don't know.
Like,
I just don't understand.
I saw that and I was like flabbergasted. I think my jaw dropped when that happened.
Yeah, I did.
I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
I mean, I had a feeling they might take him, but I didn't think they were actually going to do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we already got into all
yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're right. I don't want to talk about number 9. Fuck you guys.
Jalen Carter, so
You guys stole him,
he's the most talented, best player in the draft. It's
arguably.
just, those off the field issues. But I think this is the best situation to land in. One, he has a ton of his old college teammates. Some we just
Yeah,
drafted in this draft, some we drafted last year.
like the
Then
person
we
whole
traded
line
for
was.
DeAndre Swift, who also played at Georgia. He wasn't a teammate with Carter, I don't think, though. But still, but yeah, it's a great situation, great locker room who will be able to hold him accountable. We have good veterans, Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, who are going to be able to guide him. I think it's great. I mean, no brainer. We had to get him.
That
He's
Eagles
been sitting there.
that Eagles team right now is actually
I
scary.
and
Like
I
they
honestly,
go
I
ahead.
could not believe that the league, all the 8 teams ahead, technically Chicago too, since they traded basically nothing. We were able to trade up and secure him for basically nothing, like a fourth round pick next year or fifth round.
Yeah, I that Eagles team is like getting themselves locked in for the future. Like they're not built like a team that's kind of going for a Super Bowl in the next year or two, like the Bills.
We're looking to go for multiple.
Like they have longevity, and I am impressed. I am mad.
Well, yeah, because
Like
like you look at
I'm
our D line
scared.
already, we already had a bunch of great players there. Now we're just adding on.
Some of them already won the Super Bowl once.
Yep.
So I mean, I gotta say, good job, guys. Screw you, but like,
Thank you, Howie.
what the how?
You might
Anyway,
have 100 sacks next season.
yeah,
All right, number 10,
number 10.
Darnell Wright. Kind of a reach, I think. I think they would have been better off with
I mean, you got Skronsky
Skronsky
sitting right there, and
or
gets picked
Broderick
next.
Jones. I like Broderick Jones better than Darnell Wright too, but
I don't think there's
he'll
anything
probably be fine.
particularly wrong. I should be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
It's one of those only time can tell. Should be fine. Not that big a deal. That's the top 10. Are there any? There's a few other picks that do stand out though. I first let's draw. I want to draw attention to number 12, Detroit Lions. What the fuck are you doing?
Why?
What are you doing?
Why, Lions? Your rebuild was perfect. You were building the perfect fucking rebuild. And then you do this. After you pay David Montgomery and have Swift on your roster. Well, he's
Not
gone now,
anymore.
but still.
So
So
not
thank you.
with that context, this pick looks better, but at the same time,
It's a fucking massive reach.
at the same
Like,
time,
massive.
it's pick number 12.
You would have been better off either staying at number 6 and taking someone like Carter or Gonzalez, or even you could have had Gonzalez here at 12. Or
Yeah, he fell.
you were at 6, you could have traded up to like 3 and taken someone like Richardson or Levis. Or even taken fucking Levis at 12. I just, why? Like this Gibbs, like
It's
most mock drafts had him going to like the highest, maybe the Eagles
it's funny because with the
or the
context of
Chargers.
DeAndre Swift being traded, I would say it's a good it's a good player for him to have. It's a good pick, just not at this pick, if you know what I mean. Not at number 12, not
Yeah,
earlier.
and then
That's like a late
speaking of
first
the
round pick.
Lions, it runs right into this. Then they had pick 18, and they picked Jack Campbell, who is like what was by all accounts a second round graded player.
Do you think maybe they go Christian
Like
Gonzalez if
he's
he's
a
still here?
probably, yeah. But like, yeah, the fucking Patriots traded up to get him.
I mean, they were lucky he even fell that far. He was expected to go
Yeah,
top 5, top
I
10.
Lions. Why? Like Jack Campbell isn't a terrible player. Like I hated the pick at first. I'm kind of coming more onto it now, but I think it's a massive.
I don't think we're sleeping on Gibbs as a player. By the way, we're just
No, he's a good
we're
player.
we're
It's just
we're just hating on the Lions for picking him where they did.
he's not gonna get much playing time for at least the first year or two.
Well, I mean, the Lions already had a kind of split running game.
Yeah, it's just
I think he'll
um,
he'll get some solid looks, but
what are they cooking?
yeah.
Guess we'll see.
Let's move on. The Jets pick is weird.
Yeah, Jets. Will McDonald, like
We predicted
Nolan
he would
Smith is
go
still
to
on
the
the board, dude.
Chiefs. I maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe they see something in the guy. I don't know. I think that's just
Yeah,
strange.
Miles Murphy's still on the board.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that. It's just like weird, interesting. I don't
Yeah,
know. Obviously Christian Gonzalez fell to the Patriots at 17 when he was expected to probably go at least top 10.
definitely one of the biggest deals.
As I was watching, out of another several teams, I kept on saying, "Oh, this is going to be Christian Gonzalez for sure. He's going to go to this team. He's going to go to this team," and it wouldn't be him. And finally, he was at the
And then you got
Patriots, and I was like,
fucking Bill Belichick.
"He should pop off on that team." I think.
Yeah, he will. And I hate to say it.
Yeah, I hate the Patriots more than any other team, other than maybe the Eagles. But like, he'll pop off there.
Yeah, he will.
And then we fast forward a bit to the wide receiver chain. I think it's funny how like in all the mock drafts, there's like this section of the draft receivers,
Just receiver, yep.
and it ended up actually
Once
happening.
one goes, then all the teams are rushing to get the rest of them.
And pretty much all went in the order
And,
that people would expect too.
Yeah,
Obviously,
we pretty much kind of picked it correctly. Maybe
we got
some of them out of
we
order.
got Jackson Smith and Jigba correct at 20, and we also
Man.
got Jordan Addison correct at
And I would have,
23.
if you didn't present to me that crazy Chargers trade scenario, I would have had Quentin going there.
Which you have to admit was a pretty solid trade scenario.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Eckler part, but you could definitely see them getting Bijan Robinson. I saw some mock
Yeah.
drafts having him go there, but of course Falcons have to.
Addison to the Vikings. And then you have Deontay Banks. I love that pick by the Giants.
Freaking the Bills! I hate the Bills now. I hate them. They 110%. They jumped us.
Oh, when the Bills
to get
made that
Kincaid.
trade, I knew him. When they announced the trade on the TV, I knew immediately. Yep, they're taking
I
Kincaid
was
over the
so
Cowboys.
livid when they took Kincaid because they traded ahead of us and
With
immediately
the
locked in the
Jaguars,
pick.
With the Jaguars, Doug Peterson's trolling the Cowboys.
They locked in
Ain't
that
even
pick
in the division
instantly once they got ahead of us. And what do we do in response? We take the whole like 10 minutes or whatever it is to draft freaking Mozzie Smith. Because
Like, I don't-
because
like,
they're like,
I don't
oh
understand all
fuck,
the hate."
oh Kincaid's not there anymore. All right, now who are we gonna get? I will say, okay. I was really livid on draft night, and I will say this: I'm not hating on the player. Okay, I'm not hating on any of these players. Monty Smith, I think he'll be a good D tackle. I think we do need someone like him in terms of our run defense, which was not the strongest last season. Obviously,
Yeah, he had a top
it was
10 worst run defense.
like top 3 overall defense, especially with like points allowed. But our run defense was extremely weak, and I think this is huge for us in that regard. But there were so many other options, even with Dalton Kincaid out. There's still Michael Meyer
Y'all could have
available.
taken Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith sitting there. I feel like we
Ryan
might have been able to
Breezy.
get Mozzie Smith at a later pick. We could have traded up in
Miles
round 2
Murphy.
for him or something. Yeah, we had so many other options, and we go for
I think the Chiefs would have got him.
Okay, listen. My friend that I was watching with is hopefully chances are he'll watch this episode. I will tell him to watch this episode. He's gonna get to this part. I'm referencing you right now. Like 4 minutes before we make our pick, he looks at me and he goes, "If we draft a defensive tackle, I'm gonna lose my mind."
Look, I think you're kind of underestimating the value of a true nose tackle. Like this guy is a monster, and he will be good for your
Don't get
run
me wrong. I,
defense.
I think he'll be really good for us. I just wish it was
But
someone
I could
else.
see the question marks. Could have had these other prospects who might have been rated a little
I
higher.
will say our recent first round picks have been good. Obviously, Michael Parsons is one of the best edge rushers in the whole league right now. Or he's a linebacker technically. Uh, he's insane.
Yeah,
He is like one of the football gods right now. He had a kind of weaker back half of the season, but still really good. No question about it. And then last year it was Tyler Smith, offensive tackle. He had a good
he was a
he
great
had a
pick.
good
Yeah,
season. Yeah, no, he did really
and he
well
didn't.
filling
He
in.
played out of position for most of the season
He
too.
was filling in for Tyron Smith, who was
Yep.
injured like the whole season. He did really well. So I will like screw Jerry Jones. I will always stand by that. But I will take it with a grain of salt. I will. I'm not gonna say I will put my faith
Yeah,
in them because it's Jerry Jones, but
and Jerry, we trust.
no. Moving on. The only other thing that really stands out to me, I mean, there's some really good late picks here. I mean, Anton Harrison.
Absolute
We
steal, Nolan
we
Smith.
we predicted Anton Harrison to the not to the Jags, I don't think, but going at that. What did we predict? Let me look.
I predicted Dewan Jones to the Jags. I think.
We
Man,
we predicted
he fell to
Anton
the board.
Harrison at. Oh no, we predicted Anton Harrison at 27, which he went to the Bills.
Oh yeah,
So not bad. Uh, yeah, Miles Murphy to the Bengals, solid. Brees to the Saints, all right. And then yeah, Nolan Smith is a crazy steal.
I
I don't know
that
how he
would be
fell that far.
positivity. And how did they let the teams knew that we were gonna? They had to know we were gonna take him.
In our mock draft, we
If
had
he
him going
fell,
at 8.
yeah.
So that's crazy that happened.
Like he's who I wanted the Eagles to take at 10 if he was available because I didn't think Jalen Carter was gonna be.
Yeah, like a couple week or two ago, you were like, yeah, Nolan Smith be really good on the Eagles, but you didn't think it might have actually happened. But you ended up getting freaking
Like
Carter and
all my
Smith.
dreams came true. The whole Eagles draft, like just home run.
Yeah,
Great job.
yeah, for sure. Not too happy about that, but it's fine.
And then trade for
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift. Add another running back. Now we got Swift. We got Rashad Penny, who we signed free agency. So now we're gonna see which of those two will go on IR first. Hopefully not. And then we still got Gainwell and Scott and Trey Sermon. So yeah, I think
we got
definitely good running back now.
we got Tony Pollard. That's about it. All right, moving on. We already talked about the quarterbacks a little bit, but there's one quarterback we have not really talked about yet. Will Levis dropped to the second pick of the second round.
Yep.
I was so sad
am-
when he did not get drafted round 1.
I cannot believe he felt well. I can kind of believe it, but man, I'm like
Yeah,
all these teams that passed on him when he was there, like the Titans passing on him, the Vikings passing on
for
him,
how much he was hyped up, like
even
him
like the
dropping
Lions
that
or the
far.
Bucks
I thought there was a
or
very good
the
chance that
Seahawks.
I thought there was a really good chance he would go to the Vikings when their pick came along.
Yeah,
And they made a good pick, I would say. They need some help at receiver now with Thielen gone.
picked
But
him right before Deontay Banks, though. Like,
but still, I think Levis probably would have been solid there in that team. Kirk Cousins finished his tenure there, kind of
I think he's
mentor him.
perfect fit in that offense.
Yeah, obviously, and then the Titans ended up honestly stealing him. So good on them.
Yeah, all they had to do was swap picks basically to move up to that spot.
But I was really sad that he didn't get drafted on round one.
But yeah, he's gonna apparently. Vrabel said in a press conference he's gonna start out as the number three QB. So yeah, he'll have to. I guess
Behind
Malik Willis,
Tannehill and Malik
because
Willis?
yeah, because Willis I guess earned it the number two spot,
Doing
which I don't
what?
think he's gonna. He's not gonna keep it for long. I don't
It's
think.
gonna be like so basically you got Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't think Will Levis will actually start this season.
Oh,
I
I
think he
think
won't
he
start,
starts by. I think he starts
but
by
by
week
next,
12.
you think he
Lock that
does?
in. I'll bet that.
All right, we'll write that
I'll
down.
put money on that. He starts by week 12.
I will literally write down right not right now. I'll write it down later. But okay, all right, interesting take there. Keep that in mind. But yeah, we talked about the other quarterbacks, so we'll move on from that. Um, without taking tons of time, you have some round one grades.
Yeah, let's get right into it, I guess. I wrote down some opinions for every pick. I'll just go over them, kind of sit here and talk about it. So then, the number one overall, Bryce Young. Don't really have much to say about that. Best day one ready quarterback in the draft. He's got playmaking, got the accuracy. He's I don't see any issues with him being down the middle of the field. Just going to be, is he going to be durable enough? That's going to depend on his offensive line. But all in all, great pick. And then you got C.J. Stroud. We already touched on that. They needed a quarterback. Uh, all these top 10 picks, we kind of already talked about. I'll just kind of skip that.
What do you grade them, because these are actual grades
Oh,
you gave
oh
them.
yeah, I'll give my grades. So A plus for Carolina. They needed a quarterback. Everyone knew they were taking one. I'll give an A grade. Actually, yeah, I'll stick with A minus for Houston because DJ's a good quarterback. Could they have waited maybe? Uh, Pick number three. I'm also gonna go with A minus. He's a great player. Is the trade is now? I'll grade the trade a C, just because it could set
Really
them
a
back,
C?
but it could also be great.
A C?
But the pick itself, I'll give A minus.
Huh.
The trade, I give a C though, because of how much it cost them.
Okay.
Uh, Anthony Richardson to the Colts. I'm gonna B minus. I'll stick with that. What I set on draft night. Yeah, he's gonna
You have
take
a
a
lot
lot of.
you have a lot written down for Richardson, so
Yeah.
like I actually want to hear what you got
Okay.
for that.
So there's like so much buzz around him. There's people who say this is the most talented, quarterback we've ever seen in the history of quarterback prospects. He's got, the build and the height and his legs. He can run. Like, what quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, like, are you like super successful quarterbacks had all that? And what quarterbacks have we seen in the past with these traits and like buzzed about? Actually, how
Well,
many of them have been successful?
that's actually such an interesting point, because like that whole like image of a quarterback you just described, that's like a very modern idea. Like the whole QB scrambling thing,
Yeah,
especially. That's a really modern thing. That's
well, it's like you
kind of
still need a quarterback with legs. It's not even just that. It's just overall they're talking about his build and his arm strength and his legs, all of that combined. They're just saying like this is the best overall prospect. Like,
so
yeah, but
is this like on those like little like Instagram posts that people will have, where they're like building the best quarterback out of all these different
yeah,
players, and
that
they have
yeah,
little
basically.
lines pointing to like his right arm is Josh Allen's arm, his left
Yep,
arm is Patrick Mahomes' arm when he throws left-handed.
yep. And then his legs are Lamar Jackson 2x. Like,
Yeah,
see, I everyone's saying
that's
this, but
so
like,
funny.
that doesn't matter. Like, it hasn't historically ever mattered. Like, and who did I hear say this from a clip? Oh, it was like Shannon Sharp. He's like, Can you even name like who has the strongest arm in the Hall of Fame, or who's the fastest quarterback in the Hall of Fame, or all that shit? Like,
There's not really a way
you
to
don't
actually
need all of
measure
that.
that though.
Yeah, you don't really need all of that to be successful. It's all the brain. That's what makes a successful quarterback. Of course, you need the traits, but
I think
you
it's
can't put it together.
I think it's what you do with the football versus
Yeah,
what you are able to do with the football. I
exactly.
think
And then
yeah.
you have people like Shane Steichen. He's the uh, or not the head coach of the Colts now. He was Jalen Hurts' offensive coordinator in Philly for the past 2 seasons, and they're saying, "Oh well, look what he did with Jalen Hurts, and he can do that with Anthony Richardson." Well, that he didn't make Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has an insane work ethic. He has insane leadership. He doesn't stop working. He always looks to improve. Jalen Hurts went out in the off seasons and worked his tail off to get better. It wasn't just the offense. It wasn't just Shane Steichen. He had the work ethic and mental toughness to get better, and that's what Anthony Richardson is going to need if he wants to get better.
So Anthony Richardson needs to be in terms of work ethic and that leading subsequently to improvement. Anthony Richardson needs to kind of in that sense replicate Jalen Hurts and not Kyler Murray.
Yeah, or just he needs to show willingness to improve his technique, improve his mechanics, learn an NFL offense, make reads and decisions,
Okay.
read defenses. But like, yeah, I just don't like all these comparisons with Jalen Hurts. Like he's not Jalen Hurts, and he's he might be the most talented quarterback we've ever seen, but that's never really mattered ever.
All right. I like that take. Well,
Yeah, so I'll go on to pick five now because I could talk about this for an hour,
yeah, we're
honestly.
already going for
But
going
pick
an hour or
five,
so.
I think it was a solid pick for Seattle. I thought, yeah, like I said earlier, I was dead set that they were either going to trade this pick to someone who's going to take Carter, or they were going to take him himself for themselves. But Devin Witherspoon's a solid pick. They can put him with Woolen, and he's big and physical, aggressive. I like it.
Okay.
And then, I give that an A grade.
All right.
And
Cool.
then Harris Johnson to Arizona. Detroit trading it. Why? But yeah, good pick for Kyler. Keep him protected, especially coming off that big injury. And he should be a good player for them for a long time. I give that A plus, maybe steal, borderline steal.
You think that's is that much of a steal? Going.
Yeah,
All right. All right. What's
you need a
next?
good offensive lineman, and they're hard to come by. Tyree Wilson, I'm going to give it B minus. Like he's a solid player, but I think they could have gone, corner instead, like Gonzalez, Nolan Smith at edge. I mean, I think Nolan Smith might be better, and then they could have had Levis too. But he's a solid player. I give it B minus.
Okay.
Bijan Robinson, I give it a B just because he's such a good player, and he probably will put up huge numbers for him.
I mean, like we said, pretty
I
much.
kind of want to change it to a C plus now in terms of just going to Atlanta
I mean, we did rant about this for a while,
and what
so
it does to their rebuild. Yeah,
there isn't really
so
much more to say about
I'm gonna
a
say
lot of
C
these
plus.
players.
He's a great player though. Don't get that wrong.
Okay.
Uh, Ninth overall, A plus steal, absolute steal. He's the best overall player in the draft. Turn on the film, watch. He's an absolute monster. He's a game wrecker, and he's great against the run. He's a great pass rusher. I don't know how the league let him fall this far. Uh, Pick number 10 for Chicago, I give it a B minus. One, just because why did they trade down for only a fourth round pick just to take Darnell Wright when there were better offensive tackles on the board? But I mean, either way, get protection for Justin Fields, solid player. B minus is fine.
Yeah.
Peter Skoronski to Tennessee. Since Levis ended up falling to them in round two, I'll stick with the A grade here. He's a solid offensive lineman, and they desperately needed it since their line there has been screwed over by injuries for like the
Yeah.
past 2-3 years, and they lost a couple key starters
That should really
in
help also
Ben
with
Jones and
Derrick Henry as well.
Taylor Lewan. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
So, how about pick number 12? Don't go on a big rant because we already did, but just give it your grade. What's your grade for Jameer
F
Gibbs? F. All right, moving
F
on to 13.
F
Green
minus.
F.
Okay.
What's
Green
pick
Bay.
13?
I've turned around a little bit more on this pick. I think I gave it a C grade here. I'll give it a B. I give it a B minus now. Like he's a solid player, but he's like the textbook player that the Packers take.
hmm
Big,
He,
corn-fed white dude.
he seems
Like
like he'll be
okay,
just fine. He should be fine
he'll
for.
be just fine for them. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but they could have gone offensive help here instead. That's debatable though. Anyways, Broderick Jones A plus. I would almost say a steal for Pittsburgh. I love Broderick Jones. I think I said last week. I think he has the highest upside in talent out of any tackle in this draft. I might be overreacting, but you just watch him. He's so explosive. He's strong, and yeah, you need to keep Pickett protected, especially with his concussion history last season. Great pick, yeah. Borderline steal A plus.
Okay.
Jets. Will McDonald. Why?
Yeah, we talking.
Nolan Smith is still on the board.
We talked about it
Why?
a little
D
bit.
minus.
It's weird. Yeah.
16, Emmanuel Forbes. He has very high upside, and they need to keep adding to that inexperienced cornerback room. Uh, Fits their scheme. Yeah, he good. Christian Gonzalez to the Patriots, A plus, absolute steal. Why did the league let this dude fall in Bill Belichick's lap?
Like we said, he's probably gonna pop off. So
Yeah, he'll pop off for them. He's a fucking talented, awesome dude. Detroit, Jack Campbell.
Detroit
Like I
was
said,
just weird.
I
Not
turned around a little bit on this pick. He'll probably be okay for them. C minus. Like okay.
okay.
Kalijah Cansey to Tampa Bay. Maybe a slight reach and like maybe not an immediate pressing need for them. But you can never really go wrong adding D tackle, especially someone as good as him. I don't really agree with people saying he's the next Aaron Donald. Like, oh my God, he went to the same college as Aaron Donald and plays the same
People really
position as
say
him.
that.
That means, yeah, that
I
means he must be the next Aaron Donald.
I don't know if anyone's really gonna be Aaron
He is
Donald.
not Aaron
No
Donald, but
one's
he's a
no one's
great
gonna be
player.
Aaron Donald.
He's a good player. I think it's a solid pickup for Tampa Bay, especially you put him next to Vita Vea. Oh my God,
Yeah, that's a good
that's a
matchup.
monster pass rush.
All right.
Double team nightmare. Jackson Smith and Jigba to the Seahawks. I give it a B plus. He ain't gonna be the number one guy.
They got
He
Metcalf still.
is yeah he's a slot receiver and he'll be great in the slot for them. They're gonna be able to do a lot more on offense. Keep Give Gino more weapons. Hopefully he can improve, especially having him making plays there. Yeah, B plus.
Okay. All these receiver
L.A.
grades are
Quentin
just kind of.
Johnson. This is who I thought they were gonna take if they didn't get Bijan in that crazy scenario. But I mean, he ain't an insane elite receiver. He'll probably be good for them though. B plus to give Herbert some more weapons.
Yeah.
He's a tall, physical guy.
I think
Zay
that's. I
Flowers.
think it's. Going back real quick. I think Quentin Johnston should be solid as well. With Keenan Allen's getting old, and Mike Williams. Who knows with him?
He might be the best overall receiver in this draft.
Like just all around in terms of.
Yeah, all around. Like because Jackson, he's kind of limited to slot.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got someone like going into Zay here, who I give B minus grade. He's a good player, and you need to get Lamar some more weapons, especially after just signing him to that big money contract. But
Yeah, we talked about Zay Flowers
I
a little
think
bit.
I think they should have gone corner here instead. Honestly, I think that's a bigger need on their roster.
I think
how sketchy their
I
defense
think the
was.
Ravens are one of those teams that can kind of figure out a way to succeed without a huge main receiver like the Chiefs did.
It'll work out for them, I think.
They should be
But
fine,
yeah,
I think.
he ain't a crazy, top weapon. B minus is good.
So I didn't see this
Jordan
before.
Addison.
You had a lot written here for Jordan
Oh,
Addison.
he's a good player, but like he's was he worth the pick? Like he's probably a decent fit with Jefferson. Have him on the as the number two guy on the outside, or lined up on the other side of Jefferson. But they could have gone corner because their defense was absolutely fraudulent last season. They could have gone D line. They could have gone quarterback. As Kirk probably ain't going to be there longer than 1 or 2 seasons. Like he's got 1 year left on his deal, and are they going to keep him? Uh, I don't think so, or I don't think they should, but they might have to now because they're going to be locked into this state where they're just good enough with Kirk, but they aren't quite there. And this was the perfect chance for them to either improve that sketchy defense with a solid corner, which the next pick was Deontay Banks, picked by the team that destroyed them in the playoffs. And yeah,
By destroyed, you
it's a
mean
okay pick.
like one possession.
Well, yeah, but it's
Kirk,
the Giants,
they destroyed themselves. Let's be real. Kirk Cousins throwing
and we saw
four
what happened to
yards.
the Giants in the next round.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
Vikings had a good defense; they would have won that game.
It's a skill issue.
So I'm not gonna get too much into it. I give it a C grade, but I don't like it for the Vikings really that much.
Yeah, and then you gave
Deontay Banks,
okay.
A+. Great pick for New York. He's a solid corner.
Yeah, I think
And I'm glad.
New York has only improved since last season.
Yeah, they trade. I think they definitely. They might have had the second best draft after the Eagles, maybe the Steelers. Yeah, not much really else to say. He's just solid corner, and they need corner help.
We talked
Give
about
it
the
A
next one.
plus. Next one, Dalton Kincaid.
We talked about
I
this.
love it. I love the Bills trading up to jump the Cowboys.
I
I
don't.
absolutely love it.
I don't.
I laughed.
I did not.
I knew right away when they traded up what they were doing. I give it a B+ though. Like they might have been better off with O line. They still got Dawson Knox, which he doesn't have, the full skill set that Kincaid does. But teams are starting to lean more into 12 personnel sets. You need good two decent tight ends. Can't really go wrong with it. Give Josh Allen another security blanket.
Whatever.
And yeah, jumping the Cowboys is just the cherry on top. B+. Mozzie Smith, I also give a B+. I know you were not very happy about it at first, and looked like Cowboys fans were kind of split on it, but it seems like they've come around. He's great for their run defense, and they needed to fix. They needed to address.
Yeah, we talked about him. I did quite a bit.
I mean, there might have been better players on the board, but he'll be solid for you guys. He'll be a solid starter. Pick number 27, Anton Harrison, Jacksonville. I give it a B. Might have been better off addressing defense like corner or safety, honestly. Like Brian Branch here might have been good, or Joey Porter Jr. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anton Harrison is fine though. Keep Trevor Lawrence protected. They'd lost Jawan Taylor, who just got big money from the Chiefs, and then yeah, Cam Robinson might get suspended for PEDs. So and can't be juicing up, dude. But yeah, it's a fine pick, B grade.
Can't be juiced up.
Miles Murphy, Cincinnati. I had it A grade at first. I'm gonna change it to B though. And
big drop.
they need another edge rusher. I mean, he ain't really, super top end edge rusher. Like I think Nolan Smith is better. They let him slide to Philly. Thank you, but thank you Saints also for letting him slide. But he'll be a solid starter for them. Not the flashiest pick, but he'll be productive. Saints, I give a B plus. Brian Breesy, he's gonna need a little development, but that D line was getting so old, starting to get
Yeah.
injury issues. They need a player that they can develop, and they still have Cam Jordan, who will be a good help for him, good mentor. I think it's fine. He has a lot of upside. And then number 30, A plus steal, Nolan Smith. How did the league let him fall to number 30? I thought he was not leaving the top 10, top 12 at the highest.
Fell to
Like,
30.
why didn't the Jets take him? I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Don't really need to go into it. He's a fucking amazing
Yeah.
player.
Yeah, we've been
Honestly,
talking about him already, so.
he reminds me of Hassan Reddick a little bit.
Oh, it's,
And
it's funny
yeah,
how
my
that.
comment here I mentioned earlier, we might have 100 sacks next season,
Yeah.
maybe 900.
900? I don't know about that.
I wish. Uh,
This last pick was weird.
Kansas City, Felix. Now, sorry for butchering his name. Enudike Uzama. I think he might
Uzumaki.
be related to Uzama.
I,
Uh,
I I
the
noticed that actually.
the tight end from
Yeah, from
on the
the New
Jets
York.
now.
Yeah.
There were better players on the board. I think like he's the hometown kid pick. He played at Kansas State, but like kind of just mid. I give it a C plus.
Hmm.
They need a D line either way. Frank Clark. I can't talk today. Frank Clark got cut, and Chris Jones getting up there in age. And they can pair him with Karloftis on the other side, who's a good young developing player who they got in the first round last year. And then I have two more picks here. I have 32 and 33 here just because they were very notable picks. 32, Joey Porter Jr., the Steelers. That's a steal, A
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah. That's I don't know. He that was one of those players. Like they had like in the
The
corner,
Jags could
like
have
the like
taken
that
him.
list of top players available still on the board. Joey Porter Jr. sitting there for like a
Yeah.
million years.
Eagles could have taken him, but I think Nolan Smith
We
was a
we
better pick
actually
right now.
predicted Pittsburgh picking Joey Porter in the first.
Cowboys could have taken him,
I
honestly.
don't want to fucking talk about it. We actually predicted this. We predicted the
Yeah, we
Steelers
did.
picking Joey Porter.
Yeah.
Just not here.
And yeah, great pick. He went to Penn State too, and his dad played for his Steelers. I like it. It's a Steelers pick.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Levis to Tennessee. Um, I am rating it a steal just because of him falling to the second round, which you can debate if it was predictable or not. Maybe it was, but he can learn behind Tannehill, and if Tannehill gets hurt, they got someone to go in there. He's only got 1 year left on his deal, so they're going to need a quarterback next year. I don't think they're bringing him back
Yeah.
unless he like falls out, or I don't know how he would, but
Yeah. Yeah.
my
Seeing him pick made me happy. So.
yeah, get him off the board. I think he's got a lot of talent. If he's developed right, he could be a solid player.
Would you rank it again? Is a B plus?
B plus, yeah, I give it B plus for the Titans, but it is a steal, I think.
Okay. All right. Well. All right. That's Beach's round one plus two other picks. Great. Let's okay. I think last little segment before we wrap it up. We'll make this quick. Um, your
Use
stand.
my cat in the background tearing shit down. By the way,
It's been doing it all night. It's okay. Uh,
yeah,
so just quick segment. Uh, your standout teams.
definitely Eagles
Yeah.
for sure. Giants and Steelers. I think they had the best drafts. They both ran away with some great players who fell further than I thought. Eagles they get Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, and then they go and they get Keely Ringo in the fourth round, and they get Sidney Brown in the third round. And I'm not Sidney Brown, all right, but I think all of our picks were okay. And then we took that tackle from Alabama in the second round.
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about him honestly, but or we have the best O line coach in the league, and if he thought it was okay, he's probably going to develop him into a perennial Pro Bowler. But
Yeah.
yeah, then the Steelers, they get Joey Porter Jr. They trade up and jump the Jets for Broderick Jones, who's my favorite offensive lineman in the draft. And then, I mean, just those two picks alone, that was
Just
great.
dubs. Yeah.
Two of their biggest needs addressed. Oh, and then they get Darnell Washington,
Oh.
who the Cowboys could have got.
Yeah. Yeah, we could have. We sure
And
could have.
they could have got the Cowboys could have got him in the second round too, or
Yep.
in the third round.
And instead, we got some other guy.
Luke Shoemaker, like
Whatever.
I mean, he's an okay player, but like Darnell Washington was there. He was right there.
Michael Meyer was there too.
Yeah. We went to the Raiders.
Yeah. Whatever. So you said Eagles, Steelers, and the Giants, huh?
Yeah, they're definitely top teams, and then I would maybe put Seahawks in there with their first round. I liked that a lot.
I agree. Seahawks first round, really solid.
Titans didn't have a bad draft, really.
Yeah, they had a pretty solid draft. I think, in terms of standing out for me, Houston Texans really made a splash in terms of like
with
that huge trade.
How aggressive they were, yeah.
That aggression.
I think for sure.
I think it'll work out for them in the future as well. I think we'll tell for sure in a year or two whether or not it worked out that much, and whether or not if they end up being really good, obviously that might be the best draft. The Eagles might be better, but
I mean we're contender. We're already Super Bowl contenders, and we just added all those players.
Yeah, so yeah, honestly, yeah, no, you're right. The fact that you somehow did that as a team that is coming off of losing the Super Bowl, or being in the Super Bowl at all, and really, yeah, that's impressive. So, hats off to you. I can't take it off right now because I got the headphones, but I don't.
Howie, you are a fucking wizard, man.
Yeah, man, fuck you guys. I don't think I have any other really standout teams personally. Just kind of looking through the list here.
Go into the fail teams immediately. Lions.
Yeah. We'll talk about fail teams. Lions. That's like I don't. For the record, all these players, like not bad players. It's just how they got picked. It's like why
reaches and then their trades. They had they should have just stayed at 6. Or taking Gonzalez.
The Lions are gonna end up going like 11-6 next season, and we're gonna like eat our towards.
I think they just set themselves back a little bit. Like they were in prime position to either get a QB to develop for the future, or keep adding to that stacked defense, and instead they get a running back.
Yeah.
They trade down and get a running back that they could have waited to pick.
I think worst case scenario they're stagnant.
I pretty much already blasted them earlier. So
yeah. We talked about the Jets already. We talked about all these field teams. We kind of talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
Lions. We have the Jets written down. Falcons. Again, the only weird, strange pick in terms of the actual player itself is probably Will McDonald to the Jets. A little bit. I don't think that's a number 15 pick.
No,
but. It is what it is.
I thought he was maybe going to the Chiefs.
That's what we predicted.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think there's anything else we could really go on about.
Oh yeah, we pretty much talked about the Eagles and Cowboys.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Jerry Jones picks.
Oh, dude, I love Jerry Jones. I'm so glad we have him as our GM.
Thank you, Jerry Jones.
Thank you, Jerry Jones.
Thank you, Howie Roseman.
Thank you.
For an amazing draft once again.
This is our year. It's happening. It's finally happening. All right. I think that's it for today.
Yeah, I think had a good, solid second episode. Went into my draft grades. Went into going over all our favorite picks of the draft.
Yeah,
I think
felt good about that. We'll probably
off to a good start for the show.
Chances are we'll talk some more draft next week. maybe highlight some players in the later rounds. Um,
Now free agency, the
Potentially
remaining free agents, that's
running
gonna
free
kick back
agency.
up now with the draft. You got people like
Yeah,
where's
draft is gonna
Zeke
affect
gonna
all that.
go?
Oh yeah, Zeke is still
Or
someone that exists, huh?
let me here. Remaining top free agents. Top them up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we might talk a little bit more draft next week and cover any
Yeah,
news.
there's still a decent handful of
There's still a lot of players here and there
decent
that
free
just kind
agents
of
we'll
stand
be
out.
able to
We can,
maybe talk about getting signed next week.
yeah,
I'm sure quite a few of these people will be signed soon.
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, you got anything else to say?
Not really, just
Yeah,
subscribe, smash that like button. We're gonna have more episodes coming soon and possibly more content like maybe solo videos covering certain topics.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, we have more planned. We're still kind of learning and
Getting
kind of getting
getting
comfortable
the
in
hang of
this,
it.
but we're having fun.
This felt a
And
lot better than last week for sure.
yeah,
Um, Making sure to kind of condense it not to 2 hours long, but
now we're trying to figure out timing and stuff, not go on too long of a rant about something. But yeah, all in all, I think we're getting better
yeah,
already. Other than that, I don't got much else. Yeah, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, smash that notification bell so you always know when we upload another episode. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
see you later.